everybody, and welcome to the Two Player Podcast with Matt Likes Games and Ham Solo. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring us in. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Two Player Podcast with me, Matt Likes Games. Ham Solo's here. Oh, what's up in chat? Too Big, Vort. I saw Mr. Joanna Dark there. What's up, guys? Appreciate you all for stopping by. But Ham, what you been up to? I know you're out with family right now, so I appreciate you even being here, honestly. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
You know, I've been having a good time on the multiplayer with that. Why people continuously say it's a bad game, but somehow it's not selling like a bad game.
Yeah, right. I had
in
some...
here. And keep in mind, I understand that there's been past bad Call of Duties as well.
Definitely.
But if we're gonna keep the same energy, now, then it's just like, why we're wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference now? You know what I'm saying? Wait. Why is it a? I mean, you got, bro. I know this is the intro, so go on ahead and stop me.
No, you did.
I'm gonna zen real quick. I'm gonna let you go on ahead and finish out the intros, because these suckers lately been getting on my goddamn nerves.
We will talk about it, because I actually saw your tweet earlier today about, you know, the perception versus reality of what's going on with Call of Duty. So we will be talking about it. But I mean, as for myself, just rounding out the intro, I mean, dude, I've been playing a bunch of stuff. RoboCop, you see it here in the video. Been playing RoboCop, Severed Steel, Starfield just got an update. I mean, Call of Duty. I'm heavy on Call of Duty. A little bit of Halo. I've been playing a lot of stuff. But I mean, to get into the actual topics today, Ham hinted at it. We might as well talk a little bit about perception versus reality on Call of Duty, because the media, a lot of the media would lead you to believe that Call of Duty is one of the worst games maybe ever made. But reality is it's top of the charts. It's the most, I mean, most people are in agreement that it's one of the most fun multiplayers they've done in a very long time. And to be fair, a lot of that has to do with nostalgia, bringing back old maps, getting that people are familiar with and that people care about. But the game is fun. The game's fun. That's the point. But a lot of people would have you believe that is not the case. But Ham, you've been playing it. We've all been playing it. All of our friend group for the most part. But I mean, what are your thoughts? I'm gonna let you riff a little bit. What are your thoughts on? I guess the media really doesn't want people to enjoy this Call of Duty.
They really don't. And they're putting in overtime, is what it feels like for this game to be bad. Like, as I was kind of alluding to before the end of what I was saying when I said I just need to cool it for a second.
Yeah.
What I was alluding to was more or less like, there were quite a people displeased with like Vanguard in the past, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
There are quite a few people displeased with all these other Call of Duties. Black Ops 4 only had the multiplayer, didn't even have a campaign, right?
Yep.
But they're making this one seem like it's far worse. They have a campaign which isn't what was in Call of Duty Black Ops 4, but the multiplayer, I would argue, is clearly better than Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
clearly,
Yes.
like without a shout of a doubt. And the nostalgia has been playing a big piece in it, and they knew it would. They knew
smart.
it would.
Yeah.
I just pointed out a few things that were stated, and I'm sorry, my phone's gonna look a little different for a second.
That's fine.
Yeah, sorry, dog. Yeah, my picture's gonna look a little different for a second. But my post reads like I shared word for word clickbait versus reality, right? And I showed Games Radar saying Modern Warfare 3 is stuck paying deference to a past that it seems to barely understand. And then under the review, it says Modern Warfare 3 is one of the most underwhelming entries in Call of Duty in 20 years. In its 20-year history. A lackluster campaign. Sure, and I can kind of agree with that, right? Lackluster campaign, I kind of agree with that. So I'm not mad at him for saying that. But then he says, can't distract from the tired multiplayer formula. Are we serious?
Yeah, I don't
right
know
now.
about all that. I don't know about all that.
I was with him all the way up until he said, from the tired multiplayer formula. Who's tired of Call of Duty? Because,
right?
I mean, the pockets for Activision seem to not be getting tired. You know, man. Like that money is coming in over there. Microsoft ain't mad about how it's doing right now. They are not tripping. But then he continues to say, decade-old maps, messy progression, and misaligned changes to mobility and gunplay leaves Modern Warfare 3 lost, trying to find an identity to call its own. On the very other side of that, so I posted that was the clickbait. The reality side of the picture says, posted from Call of Duty themselves.
Yeah.
Posted from Call of Duty themselves. It says, thank you. More hours per player overall than Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2. MWZ is the most engaging third mode in Modern Warfare history. Campaign players putting in more time per player in Modern Warfare 3 than the previous two installments. You know what I've been hearing from people about that?
Yeah.
You want to hear what I'm hearing from people about it?
What's that?
I've been hearing people say they combine in the numbers of all of it. When half of the picture literally tells you what's being broken down. You can't make this up when you argue with these folks.
Yep.
They're like they're talking about it all in the whole all of it. No, dude, they said the campaign alone. The campaign is a separate download.
Yeah.
You have to activate it.
Have to actually turn that on. Yes.
You have to actually download that specifically. You could only play that and leave the multiplayer deleted and never play it.
You could
do that. Because there's just the base game, and then there's Call of Duty 2 or Modern Warfare 2. Then there's 2019 or whatever. Oh, snap. What happened? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. What's going on?
Oh, okay. Oh, my internet's tripping. Am I still okay on your screen?
Yeah, your camera's off, but you're okay.
Okay. I don't know what happened, bro. But I don't know. But anyways, I'm still here nonetheless. Yeah. So they're literally breaking down what specifically is doing better. more players than before or whatever. Sure, they may be even adding on. In that aspect, maybe there is a little bit of truth to what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
In the aspect of thinking total player is at its highest it's ever been. They might have a point with that one. I'll give them that one. But here's an interesting one right here. The number ain't going down. It ain't going backwards.
Yep. It's still making a lot of sales. A lot.
And another thing that was posted to me from the Reforged dude himself was showing me reviews of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 saying, oh, this isn't lying. Oh, it's not. Do we want to look at the past Modern Warfare or past Black Ops games and look at those reviews? Do we want to still pull those up?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, this ain't the first time Call of Duty looked like Madden out here.
Oh, easy.
So I can't pull them up right on me right now because I'm not in front of my Xbox. But I'd love to know what like some of the Xbox reviews are for like some of the previous Call of Duties. What are some of the Steam reviews for some of the? As a matter of fact, Steam didn't even have Call of Duty before.
Let me look them up.
Well, how long has it been since Steam?
They brought Call of Duty to Steam with Modern Warfare 2 last year, I think.
So it's new. So there's no history there.
Yep, not for a long time. Not since like the 360 games. Call of Duty. I'm just gonna go to the last one, Modern Warfare 2. And I'm gonna go to the store. Let's see what the reviews are. 2.5 out of 5 stars.
Ain't that something? Because Modern Warfare 3 got a 2.4.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, so what? What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is this inflated as it's new news and it should be in everybody's face and it's time to drop the controller or throw the disc, out the window or something? Like, why is this now? Why wasn't it years ago? If this was a real stance people took, where have you been?
How about this one? This one, I love this one because I personally really enjoy Call of Duty Ghosts. Most people hated Call of Duty Ghosts, or at least that's the general sentiment online. 4 out of 5 stars.
4 out of 5.
Yeah, so it's like, and I mean, what's the best one this generation? Is probably, I think people would say, Cold War. That got less than Modern Warfare 2. That's 2 out of 5 stars. So it's like,
I want you to pull up Modern Warfare 3 real quick, the current one. See that score real quick.
Let's see it. Where's it at? Right here. Modern Warfare 3. Oh my god. What's funny about that is I don't even think I can because of this whole... Oh wait, never mind. I got it. It is 2.5 stars out of 5.
So it's the exact same as the last game.
Yes, the exact same.
But Reforge over here is trying to say that I'm pulling a fast one by saying that people are tripping. No, I'm not. I'm saying keep the same energy. If you felt like that, then you felt like that for years.
Yes, it's the exact same as the last one, and still better than the 2 before it. So, what are we doing? What's it about?
These fools out here got thousands upon tens of thousands of subscribers out here lying to folk. Lying to folk. And them folks are supporting it, liking, wanting to what's that stupid thing called? Ratio.
Oh, ratio. Yeah.
Yeah. You proving your point. You're proving your point that you're an idiot and you're down to just co-sign whatever.
Yeah. Scrapping. trying hard to fight a narrative, which I mean,
They fighting for their lives
which is so
on their
silly.
true R. Kelly.
Which is so silly because like there's really no like unless you genuinely don't like the direction of Call of Duty. And there's things I don't like about the direction of Call of Duty. Like this whole hub thing, I don't love that. I mean, I like the idea of it, but the way they're executing it is terrible. The way like that's just one app and it just stinks the way they're doing it. But like the game is fun. The multiplayer is I prefer this multiplayer over last year's simply because I mean it's mostly the same gameplay with some movement tweaks, but simply because of the nostalgia factor of the maps and everything. But like unless you really hate what's going on with Call of Duty, there's no reason to be this passionate online. And I'll tell you what, not that many people really hate it because it's still selling like crazy. So if you're really that passionate online about it, then I hope for your sake you haven't bought it. I hope for your sake you haven't engaged with it because that's just gonna make you look silly. It's really gonna make you look silly if that's the case. But they already do look silly, so what can you do? But yeah, man, I agree. I really agree. Like I it's weird because I don't want to say like right off the bat that it's because of Xbox because they just got Call of Duty and everything. But part of me also kind of wants to say a little bit of it is. Because it's like what you were saying, where is this energy last year? Dude, because if you pay attention to the Call of Duty community, we do the same thing every year. It's always the same thing. This Call of Duty is amazing. It's amazing. And then by the end of it, everybody's like, man, this Call of Duty was terrible. The next one's going to be the best one ever. And it's rinse and repeat every single year. We're doing the same thing this year. So why is it different this year? What makes it so much different? So much more catastrophic than last year? Nothing. It's the fact the only difference is that this year Call of Duty is owned by Xbox, by Microsoft, to be more specific. That's the only tangible difference that I can see with Call of Duty. So, I don't know. It makes you think. It makes you think a little bit. It makes you wonder why all this outrage. But, you know, that's just me. And I do definitely agree with you. But there's more topics. I mean, we should talk a little bit or just quickly about KOTOR because I saw people freaking out about it. For me personally, I don't have any history with KOTOR, but I was kind of excited for a remake. But turns out we might not see that. And I've got two things here. One of them is from a tweet from Hazardor Gaming. A quote from Jeff Grubb says, Sony is wanting to be done with it in terms of KOTOR. And he says that comes directly from PlayStation. It feels like it cannot happen without a partner like Sony. Sony seems to be out with funding pooled. To me, it's definitely done and no reason for anyone to be working on it. And that's part one of this whole saga. Part two is Jason Schreier tweets, can't say whether the KOTOR remake will ever actually come out, but yes, two people from Saber Interactive tell me that they're still on it, despite recent rumors that nobody is working on the game. Saber took the project from Aspire last year, as Bloomberg reported then. So you hear nobody's working on this game, and then the big sigh of relief is, hey, no, two people are working on this game. two. We've got two people on this game, and it's like I don't think that game's like
dude. Obsidian literally had more people in the attic working on KOTOR 2. Working on the current day KOTOR.
Dude,
they literally had more people working in somebody's in the CEO's house in the attic than they currently have working on this remake of KOTOR, which is insane. just to think about.
It's nuts because you also think about the fact just a few years ago, before the Series X and S launched, they had that small team, very small team, 20 people I think working on Grounded. There's more people working on Grounded, which was just some, like, smaller game that eventually ended up being pretty popular, but just a very small game. And KOTOR is one of the most highly regarded games in gaming history, and it's got 2 people working on it.
Two people.
It's got 2 people. Stanley Francois, what's up? Hard Days Mike, what's up? Lady Foxfire, thank you for stopping by. But this KOTOR remake, first of all, the question is, do you think this thing even exists anymore? Because Saber says obviously 2 people working on it. Do you think? Because there was 2 people working on Titanfall at one time. There's a dude working on Titanfall. And it's like, we still don't know. It's got an update, but it's got one update in like 5 years. So we don't know. But like, what do you think this? I mean, do you have any hope for a KOTOR remake at this point?
Well, see, this is different because what you're talking about, Titanfall had already came out, so that one person working on it,
that's a good
is
point.
Different. Compared to a game that hasn't come out yet, and you got 2 people working on it. You got to wonder, like, what they're thinking, what they're working on. Is it like script, or like, is it design of the game? Is it, trying to figure out how they want to bring this, type of game into 2020 fucking 6, whenever this thing can actually come out. I don't know, but all I could tell you is 2 isn't enough to really get this ball rolling at all. And if I was somebody that was looking forward to this game, I would just forget about it for right now, 100%.
Yeah,
just like just forget about it and be pleasantly surprised if you hear something.
Yeah, I think that's the move, because I don't think this is. I mean, it doesn't sound good. Because, I mean, regardless of what Saber Interactive says, if what they're saying is true and they've only got 2 people working on it, that at least means that Sony's desire for this game to be done is gone. Because if Sony wanted this game done, they'd have all the resources they need. It wouldn't be a question. So only having 2 people on your game, I think Sony might be done with it. And Hazador said it in his tweet, if Sony's out of the picture for this, then they need somebody else for funding. So it's like, you got to find someone else, and if you don't, then that game probably won't exist. So it's a weird situation, and there's not many people who. You could maybe say Xbox, because KOTOR has a history with Xbox. I mean, it's an exclusive game, but or was an exclusive game, but is Xbox dying to hop on this train that, Sony must have seen it and said, "Whoa, what the fuck?" and then they hopped right off. So is Xbox dying to hop on? I don't know. It just to me it sucks, because like I said, I have no connection to KOTOR. I don't have any nostalgia for it whatsoever. I was interested in the remake because everyone says it's one of the greatest games ever made. And I mean, looking at it now, I'll have to wait a while. I'll have to wait a while if it even exists. So I honestly don't think it's coming out. I think it's probably done. What other games? I'm gonna look it up while I'm talking. What games have Saber Interactive done? Because they could probably be working on anything else, honestly. Saber Interactive.
I mean, unless it's a 2-man studio, which I highly doubt.
Right. Saber Interactive works on, Space Marine 2. That's a topic. That's a topic.
So if 2 people are working on KOTOR, and Space Marine 2 is either dropping a release date at the Game Awards, or they're looking like they're having their own troubles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just an interesting situation. That's a really because I mean I'm like if Space Marine is what I think it is, then folks that are excited about KOTOR at all, and Saber is working on it, that's a reason. That's a good reason to be excited.
Yes. Well, Space Marine 2 is kind of a topic today, and we might as well kind of piggyback onto it real quick. That's delayed. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't. That's why I said that.
So
And that's why I said what I said. I didn't see that.
So that's delayed till the second half of 2024, with the release date expected to be announced in March.
Yeah.
So we're expecting a release date announcement in March.
Oh no.
So second half 2024 is when Space Marine 2 is coming out. So if they're working on Space Marine 2, they just put out Teardown on console, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, Expeditions, a Mud Runner game, Evil Dead, World War Z. I didn't know they did World War Z. They did that. SnowRunner Readout, Dakar Desert Route. Like they got a bunch of games, and a lot of these games they're still working on.
They got a pedigree.
Yeah, a lot of these games are still working on putting out updates. Space Marine 2, they're heavy in development on that, so it's like I can't imagine they're working on Space Marine 2. I can't imagine they're too worried about the game that may or may not happen being.
I was gonna say it's just like that. I mean, because you said Space Marine, but you said a different game as well. John Carpenter's game.
Oh, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. That comes out 2024.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm kind of alluding to is, that shit on the back burner, bro.
Way back. Blind Giant, what's up?
Way back, yeah. That is on the back burner. That thing, I mean, man, it's like it's like a turkey frozen tomorrow. It's like this. It's too late. Like this, we ain't got time for this. Like, man, this ain't gonna work.
Not at all, dude.
Nah.
I don't got too. I'm not very optimistic about this KOTOR remake. Unless some news comes out that someone steps in and is funding it, because I mean, by all accounts, Sony doesn't seem to be funding it. If they got two people working on it, then that's not Sony money. That is not Sony money. So I don't know. Unless someone steps in to save this.
I'm hoping Sony said, "Give me my money back." Shit, I'm hoping Sony did that.
Dude, shit. Sony's got to be on their toes with this shit now, because of look at what happened with Abandon. They got conned with Abandon. They got to be looking at any game that comes through their doors. They got to be like, dude, if we see it and it's not up to what we want, we're done. We're out. Like
it's interesting because you bring those two games up, and I'm thinking of Stellar Yams as well, right?
That's another one. Stellar Blade, yeah.
Yeah, Stellar Yams. I'm thinking of Rise of the Ronin. I'm thinking of
Rise of the Ronin.
Just like Phantom Blade Zero. I'm thinking about that too. So like it's just like these games that are exclusive or seemingly to be exclusive. Like, man, a couple of them right now are not panning out. And in my opinion, Sony they are leaning hard on third party, but third party's having problems.
Yep.
So it's just interesting. Like, it's just interesting to see. I mean, I know their console sales are just going to keep going up, and that's good.
Yeah.
But I get kind of curious as to like how that will sustain. Like, I think I feel like this generation with PlayStation and third party plus their first party is fairly solidified. Like I feel like they're fairly solidified to be kind of comfortable at the least for the rest of the generation.
I agree with that.
Like I don't think they're like super worried. Where I would be worried as like a PlayStation fan, like a PlayStation only looking at the PlayStation books, right? Not thinking about Xbox, not thinking about or maybe thinking about them in the sense of competition, but not like in the sense of like tit versus tat too much. Um
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like, will this continue to work as everybody else seems to be transitioning to something? Not everybody's transitioning to the same or putting as much stock into the same stuff. But I'm just wondering how far is your name gonna take you for
Yeah.
this? Because that's what you're riding on right now. That's the wave right now. It has nothing to do with first party games exactly. It's just being known as the gaming console, right?
Yep.
So it's any game that can go to that, it's known for. And again, it goes with free games. So I'm also thinking about like obviously Fortnite, Warzone, Genshin Impact, and all that stuff, right? Um, because a lot of people buy the consoles to play the free games, and there's nothing wrong with that or whatnot. But you
Yeah.
got to wonder like if people get any deeper into games or just as the generations change and you're no longer selling a PS5 anymore, you're selling the PlayStation 6, but then Xbox once again has two SKUs. You know,
Oh yeah.
Apple is more popular at the beginning of the generation. Um, Nintendo's had their new console out already, so they're already making buku bucks, right? I'm
Yep.
just wondering how do you continue, or I'm wondering how they will continue to outmarket somebody that's clearly taking a direction to the casual gamer, especially with like Activision Blizzard deal, Bethesda as well, um, and yeah, you just have all these different studios for Xbox, but then like I said, just kind of keeping it more or less PlayStation. I'm just wondering how you remain relevant when you're going to be known as a third party console for the rest of this generation and going into the next one. I'm just interested in seeing like how much more first party output do they put out for the rest of this generation,
That's
or exclusive content to keep them relevant enough to sustain the same type of lead that they have now into the next generation.
that's the thing. We gotta like. I saw a clip. People were clowning on MBG. I don't know if you saw that clip of like MBG like basically saying wait for the showcase because everybody used to say it was for Xbox players. It was always wait for next E3, and MBG was on the video basically saying, "Well, guys, just gotta wait for this showcase." And I thought that was hilarious, but
Yeah, it's ironic, right?
it's incredibly ironic. But he's got a point there where it's like, dude, if this show like whenever they decide to have another showcase, if they come out and they don't have like if we don't see what Sony Santa Monica, just as an example, Sony Santa Monica, Sucker Punch. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima came out what in 2020. We don't even have a logo or like an inkling of Ghost of Tsushima 2. We know it's in production. We know it's their next game. I mean, we all assume. We don't know. We all assume it's their next game. But like Sucker Punch, what are they doing? What's Naughty Dog up? God, what is Naughty Dog up to? Because it can't just be. It really can't just be Last of Us Part 2 remastered and Uncharted
No.
collection. It can't. It really can't. So it's like if we get to this next showcase, whenever that is, whether it's July or September of next year, if we get to that showcase and we don't see what those studios are up to, then I'm looking at PlayStation. I mean, I'm already looking at PlayStation a little bit weird But if that happens, then I'm looking at him like, dude, why the fuck did I spend $500 on this console? Why'd I
You know
do
what
that?
you know what I'm expecting from Naughty Dog is their next game. I think it's going to be Last of Us oriented, but and this is just my opinion. I could be crazy wrong, but
Sure.
I think it's going to be Last of Us oriented. But it's going to be like that Uncharted was with Chloe and
I I wouldn't be mad at that.
what was the other girl's name?
Chloe and Nadine. Nadine.
Nadine, yeah, Chloe and
Yeah.
Nadine. I feel like it's going to be something like that where they take two different characters that aren't the main part of the story and try to add them in somehow. And I
I
think it'd be interesting, but I don't think it's going to be like a long game, like a main story piece would be.
Sure. I think personally, if they're doing something Last of Us related, I think it's Abby and Lev. Because I don't think. I mean, the way Ellie went out and Last of Us Part Two, that shit's just. I mean, what do you do with Ellie? Because that's just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this character now? Basically ruined her fucking life. And then
I forget, did Joel's bro die? I don't remember.
no, he's not dead, but he ends up being
Yeah,
like,
see?
yeah, he ends up being quite bitter, like a quite bitter dude. I think he got injured and is like he has like a limp now. His legs all fucked up, and he's just he was really mean to Ellie, like the last time he saw her. He's just a bitter dude now.
I could totally see them making a game with him.
I could see that. I could see it.
Especially since, remember in the TV show, they kind of focused in on him a little bit when he left or how he went into town and met
Yeah,
up.
yeah. You know
I
what
could see, I could see them doing that.
you know what it could be. It could be if they really want to have Ellie in the story some way. It could be him looking for Ellie. Because I'm pretty sure, like the way that game ended, I don't think Ellie went back to hang out with Tommy. I'm pretty sure Ellie went off to try to fix all that shit she fucked up. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, she went to go find her wife. Yeah,
yeah. So it's like that the story could end up being Tommy looking for Ellie, or Ellie looking for Dino, or fucking Abby and Lev. There's a lot of things they could do, or they could just make entirely new fucking characters and say, screw it, we're taking a break from Abby and Ellie and Lev and Tommy. We're taking a break from all that. Here's two new characters. Like, they could do that if they wanted to. They could give a fucking backstory on Bill. I mean, like, there's all sorts of yeah, Bill the game. It's eating pizza rolls. Eating pizza rolls in an apocalypse. But there's so much shit they could do. But I just want to know what they're doing. I mean, because every time we hear about, oh, here's another remaster from Naughty Dog, every time we hear about it, and we will talk about it, they're always quick to reiterate, oh, but don't worry, we are working on this other thing. And they've been saying that. They've been saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it forever. It's like, dude, just a hint, an inkling. What is it? Please. Anything. A logo. Just concept art. Like something to show that it exists more than, hey, we promise we're working on it. And the thing is, I get that, like, as gamers, you're not owed that, but if you're not getting any of it from anywhere for PlayStation, I mean, Naughty Dog, to me, well, I mean, now it's Insomniac, but historically, for me, Naughty Dog is their best studio. And you got, like, a flagship studio just kind of like, here's Last of Us 2 Remastered. Here's the Uncharted collection. It's like, dude, just I get it. You guys have those games, they're great. And here's the thing, I'll say it right now, I'll get Last of Us 2 Remastered if that $10 upgrade is true. If it's not true, then fuck that. I'm not spending 70 whatever dollars they want me to spend for a remaster game. But like, for $10, I'll get the new mode and everything, but like, it's not the same as a new brand new Naughty Dog game. It isn't the same. And I mean, there's a lot of
No,
studios.
it's a time killer.
Exactly. There's a lot of studios at PlayStation where it's like, dude, I know you guys are talented. I know you're working on stuff because you keep hinting at it. You keep dropping subtle hints, but like, where is it? When can we expect it? Even if they want to come out and say, yo, this isn't going to be out till like 2026 at the earliest. Even if they want to come out and say that, like, just give me something so I have like some semblance of hope for like this generation. Because right now, my PlayStation, dude, I told you, we're getting ready to move next week. I haven't, last time I turned my PlayStation on was to beat Spider-Man 2. And that was weeks ago. And since then, my PlayStation's been packed in the other room. There's no reason to play it. I have, like, no real excitement for it. You mentioned Rise of the Road, and that's probably the only game I'm excited for PlayStation next year. And we don't even know if it's coming next year. We know it's slated to, but, I mean, shit, we haven't heard anything about it for a while.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be like end of 2024, which in my opinion sounds like mid 2025.
Exactly. That's a 2025 game
says that kind of stuff.
For all we know. So it's like, what you said is true, man. Like, I don't know how long third party can care. Because the thing with PlayStation is it's always been third party and first party. And they've always been hitting, firing on all cylinders. But now it's like third party and third party. So, I mean, unless Insomniac comes out with another game, like Wolverine's 2025, according to reports recently. So, like, 2024 is all third party, as far as we know. Like, there's nothing. I mean, Concord, there's that, like, cheeseburger game with the jiggly ass cheeseburger in space that ended up being like an FPS game. There's that for 2024. But outside of that, I don't know. First party wise. Maybe the heist game they were talking about? I don't know.
Hell no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have no interest in that heist game. If I want to play that, I'll play Payday. But like, it's just not enough to be excited about right now. And it's one of those things, like, I want to sit here and say, yo, you got to do something about that. But then you see the numbers that they're selling, and it's like, well, obviously they probably see that, and they're like, oh, well, we'll just continue status quo. And it's hard to blame them. It's hard to blame them as just in business terms. It's hard to be like, well, you got to change because, like, I'm upset with you guys. It's like, well, I don't give a fuck if I'm upset with them because they're still making hand over fist selling consoles and shit, so they don't give a fuck. But, like, I don't know. Eventually, you would think it would catch up to them a little bit this generation, but we'll see. But I mean, I did mention it there. Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. This is the topic. We might as well get it out of the way real quick. Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. I think that comes out January. Where's the release date? I had it up here. I'll look for the release date. But Last of Us Part 2 Remastered was announced. And with it comes a new roguelike mode, which has, like, you know, can play as different characters and waves of enemies, which would be the reason I would get this thing. Obviously, you get Last of Us Part 2 again. I don't want to experience that story again. It was terribly depressing. I have no interest to play it again. Improved visuals, apparently. I don't know if you saw the screenshots on this. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find some of these screenshots. Because I remember they were talking about improved visuals. And they were showing, like, side-by-sides. Or, like, fans were showing side-by-sides of Last of Us Part 2 Remastered and Last of Us Part 2. And I'm like, dude, the only difference is Remastered, they look like they upped the brightness a little bit. That's, like, the only difference I can see.
Yeah, I'm sure there's better lighting.
Yeah, I hope. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like there is. Sorry, Last of Us Part 2 Remastered screenshot. Stanley Francois in the chat says, why would any PlayStation fan want to buy these games day one, especially when they all get remade again? You might as well wait until the remake. At this point, I mean, you're kind of right, because the Horizon Zero Dawn thing is real, right? It's not really a remake, but it's like a remaster for the PS5, and it's like the whole thing with Frozen Wilds and everything. So it's like, and that comes to I can't remember if that comes to PC or not. I don't think it does because PC already has Horizon Forbidden West. I mean Zero Dawn, but like he has a point. Like if you're going to if you're gonna announce all these games, then why would I buy them day one when you're just going to likely remaster them or remake them in like 2 to 5 years? And like, sure, Last of Us Part Two is a $10 upgrade, but what if one day you just decide, $10 upgrades are dumb, not doing that anymore? It's like now you gotta now I'm double dipping basically for the same game. Oh yeah, I guess with part two you also get DualSense features. That's another bullshit thing that they're doing over there, where it's like
You'll be able to use your controller that you bought.
exactly, like I bought the console. It came with a DualSense controller. You sold me on this DualSense controller. It's got all these cool features, haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, all these awesome features, and you're like you're selling me games that I've already played again to add support for the controller that I bought. It's like that should be free. And I mean we said this all the way back to when Ghost of Tsushima got its PS5 remaster. It's like Ghost of Tsushima is a great game, love it, but I'm not paying for DualSense features. I already bought the console. At this point, I'm gonna end up not using those features a lot more than I'll end up using them. At this point with Sony, because like I didn't buy the Ghost of Tsushima remaster. Why would I? It's 60 FPS already. Like unless I got like $10 or whatever, like on a sale or whatever. But I'm not doing that. So I get what Stanley Francois is saying there. It's a bad look for Sony. But I mean, to ask you your thoughts, I know you're probably not thrilled about it. I'm just gonna take a guess that you're not thrilled about Last of Us Part Two Remaster. You're probably not interested. But what are your thoughts? I mean, are you surprised by any stretch of the imagination that we're here again with another remaster from PlayStation?
I'm not surprised they don't have anything else to do right now or to show off right now because nothing's ready. So, am I surprised? No. It seems like that's been the trend this entire generation for Sony is to make the PS4 relive, ride on the coattails of what they did
Yeah.
in the last generation to generation and a half. And it's a little frustrating because I'm already caught up with that last generation, and as caught up as I want to be.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Minus like maybe 2 games, that being like Infamous and like Shadow of the Colossus or something like that.
Man, you know what you need to do? You need to see if they got Infamous on sale for that Black Friday sale, because dude, that game, you will love that game. Because you can be an asshole in that game, or you can be a hero. It's up to you. But it's fucking awesome, that game.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. I thought it was cool, but it wasn't like like insane. Like it wasn't as good as some of the other Sony IPs that I was really into playing. But it was still a pretty good game. It definitely deserves to be finished. So I'll find some time at some point to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for Last of Us 2 Remastered, I have zero interest in it. I'm not buying it, at least anytime soon.
Sure.
Like to me, that upgrade is when like I really don't have anything to play, and I have a lot to play right now. I still have a lot I still have a lot of other games that I'm like wanting to purchase at some point soon. So playing a game over again just to say it runs maybe a tad bit smoother, or the lighting's a little bit nicer, or the controller It rumbles a little bit more realistic. I'm set. I'm all set on that. I don't need any of that. And I tell you what, in my opinion, in my opinion, a remake, it is what it is. I mean, I don't love them, but I get it. If they want to keep a game alive, I said it myself on TSWS not that long ago. I was like, I'm a fraud completely when it comes to this because I bought Ark Survival Ascended twice now, once on Xbox and once on Steam.
Oh, that's right.
That
At least
is a
on Xbox.
That is a remake of Ark Survival Evolved, 100% to the T. Yeah. It's just an Unreal Engine 5 with new things that you could do on the map for $40 extra dollars. Do I think that do I think that it should have been like a $10, $20 upgrade, $30 upgrade? Sure. Am I a fool for buying it? Maybe. Maybe. But that's just my game. And so I'm not going to tell anybody that loves Last of Us 2 to death and they put so much time into it. I don't have to understand it, but I can respect that that's just what you like. And I'm not going to tell you how to use your own money, but I am going to tell you that I'm not hyped because I see this.
Yeah,
especially since it's so recent and there wasn't so much really anything wrong with the last one. As to where I can kind of make a case for Ark that game was broken. Ark Survival Evolved was broken. And I mean, it got better throughout the years, but I could see why they moved it because they had to move the servers to be able to continue with the same game, with the same type of game. And I feel like it's a practice template on Unreal Engine 5 because they're moving to Ark 2, which is supposed to have Vin Diesel in it. So I feel like it was kind of their practice before they released the real Mamma Jamma. As for when I look at The Last of Us 2, I'm like, maybe they're doing some things to kind of keep things all on the same, like across the board, mechanic wise. You see, they did Last of Us 1, now they're doing 2. And I'm assuming 3 is going to be like the exact same type of mechanics and stuff like that. So it'll be easy kind of for the rollover. They just need to, lay out the content, make the world that they want to have in that sequel and whatnot. So I get it, but as for an excitement level, nah, not at all. Even Ark, like I was excited for that game, but I didn't expect anybody else to be excited for it, right? Yeah. Not because it's Ark, but because it's the same thing as last time, just prettier. So with this, it's the same thing. If you're not a huge Last of Us fan or Last of Us didn't make you go out and buy a PS5 or a PS4, then this isn't going to make you go buy a PS5. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's literally the same thing, and it's wild because that story was supposedly controversial for a lot of people. But here it is.
I remember getting on Twitter when that game dropped, and dude, the amount of back and forth. I'll tell you what. The amount of back and forth on that game for people championing the story and people just shitting on it. Like, it was no shit, probably the most divisive thing I've ever seen on Twitter. And I keep in mind, I'm only in the gaming space of Twitter. Like, I'm not following real divisive shit. But, like, in terms of just the gaming space on Twitter, that was, like, some of the most just toxic behavior I've maybe ever seen on Twitter. Of people spoiling the game. There's so many people spoiling the game, and somehow I didn't get it spoiled, but like just people calling each other the worst shit possible because they liked it, or people calling other people the worst shit possible because they hated it. It was just a terrible time online when that game came out. And every time it comes up, it's kind of an echo of that. It's very much an echo. Because I noticed a little bit of that once this remaster was announced. I noticed a lot of that online of people just like, this game was fucking amazing. This game was stupid. You're terrible. And it's just it's back and forth. It's just back and forth. It was not an awesome time on Twitter when that game released. But yeah, I mean, Stan Front on the chat says, but Ham, it's different because Arc devs aren't doing this every game like The Last of Us devs. We can forgive Arc. And Stanley Francois does kind of have a point there, where Arc Survival
he ain't lying, because because this is year 2 in a row. So I see what he's saying. It's year 2 in a row. You literally dropped Last of Us Part 1 last year as a remaster, and then you dropped it on PC this like spring or summer.
Yep. And Uncharted.
Now, yeah, and Uncharted, and I think that was the beginning of last year.
Yep.
So beginning of last year, they dropped a remake of Uncharted 4 and the I always forget Legacy of Thieves or whatnot. And then Last of Us Part 1 last summer, and then this spring to summer on PC, and then now here again, Last of Us 2 remastered in January. And it's just like, man, you guys are in your bag, just showing me the same damn sandwich in higher definition. How's the sandwich looking now? And it's just like, oh, it still looks good, but I'm all set. Oh man, I don't know. But and it's funny how many people are just like, I don't see the issue with this, and it's just like,
oh yeah,
I don't see why you talk about Xbox, and if you don't see the issue with this, I don't see why you say anything about what Xbox or Nintendo or what anybody else is doing. Because I mean, just imagine if we remastered like Gears 5 right now, or Gears 4, and then turned around and did Gears 5 right after. It just doesn't hit right. It just doesn't sound interesting.
Well,
they were both good games, but they just like, if somebody's like, I'm bringing Gears 4 to Unreal Engine 5, I'm just like, okay.
Why? Yeah, it already looked good.
It was already a beautiful game. Like, what exactly are you trying to prove?
The only thing bringing that to Unreal Engine 5 would do was cause performance issues. Well, actually, maybe not, because Coalition's like wizards with Unreal Engine. But like, only thing that would serve to do was cause problems. But like, the reason, like, they don't have to do that, because Xbox did like the smart thing. Granted, you could argue what Sony's doing is smart in terms of just, again, business. But as a gamer, Xbox did the smart thing where it's like, when the Series X came out, Gears 5 and Forza Horizon 4 were already remastered. They had Series X and S updates. And like, dude, playing Forza Horizon 4 at 4K 60 versus 1080p 60 with lower details and everything on the Xbox One X, it was like playing a different game. Gears 5, again, higher detail, higher resolution, 60 FPS. You also had 120 FPS multiplayer. Dude, I remember playing a game at 120 FPS the first time on my Series X. Shit was like black magic. I remember getting Black Ops Cold War, and I was playing it at 60 FPS because I was like, yeah, 120 FPS is cool, but 60 FPS is fine. Plus, I get ray tracing. And then out of just randomly, I decided, you know what? I'm going to try that 120 FPS mode. And I was like, dude, I'm amazing at this game now. I can't get killed. I can't be killed because I'm playing at like double the frame rate of most people. So it's like you get remasters from Xbox. Gears 5, like I said, Forza Horizon, Hellblade got it as well. Like there's examples of Xbox doing this, but they do it for free, and they don't make a huge fuss about it. Like, it's not like, oh, here's the here's like for Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. It's like, oh, here's not what Naughty Dog's been working on. For Xbox, it's like, oh, Ninja Theory has an update for Hellblade. Coalition has an update for Gears of War. Playground has an update for Forza Horizon. And again, as a gamer, that's just the smarter way to do it. Makes you feel like you're not being just jerked around. Makes you feel like they're not like being assholes about it. Whereas with PlayStation, it's like you're kind of being an asshole. You're gonna charge me $10. I get it. You added a mode. That's cool and everything. I'm excited for the mode, but you're gonna charge me $10. I bought this game last generation already. I mean, is it really worth it? But yeah, Stanley Francois has a point there, where it's like, you know, Naughty Dog's been doing this. He also says, imagine if Xbox remastered Halo every year. I mean, dude, I'll tell you what. I get what you're saying there, and a lot of people would shit on that. But dude, I'm begging you. I'm begging. I know they didn't do a 10-year anniversary, but if they can do for the 20th year a Halo 3 anniversary, I'll buy it. I'll 1,000% buy it. That's a thing. Like Ham said, he's a hypocrite with Ark. I'm a hypocrite because I'll buy this Last of Us Part 2 $10 upgrade. I'm also a hypocrite when it comes to like Halo. If they do shit like that, I'll buy it. But I'm glad they do, like I'm happy they don't, because they just give it to you. They just give it to you whenever it's available. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't think this remaster is necessary, but hey, here we are. It's happening. Doesn't really matter what I think. As for some more PlayStation news, though, Insomniac's Wolverine won't release until 2025, reports claim. And this is from Insider Gaming. It says, according to known leaker Daniel Rickman, not only will the upcoming game not be released in 2024, but it will also feature a darker and more violent tone than past games from the studio. And that last part, I'm like, well, I would absolutely hope so. Because I don't think you can do a Wolverine game without violence.
Yeah, it's not a friendly neighborhood Wolverine.
Exactly. You can't have a PG-rated Wolverine. But yeah, I want to ask what your thoughts are, but I'm imagining you're not very surprised by 2025. Or are you surprised?
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. I'm really excited for that joint. But come on now. Quit abusing Insomniac.
Dude, right?
Give them some time to cook. Like, come on now. Like, let's not force them or try to rush them to come out with this game. They've done enough. They've put out more games so far than most companies put out in an entire generation.
Yeah.
So,
dude, they put out more new games from Insomniac than, you know, we're definitely not going to get 3 new Naughty Dog games this generation. That ain't happening. That's not going to happen. And Insomniac's done that. So, like, I don't know. But yeah, keep going.
Insomniac's running laps around Guerrilla, Santa Monica, and Naughty Dog. I mean, if you think about it, and same with whatchamacallit. God dang, what am I thinking? Sucker Punch. Yeah, Sucker Punch as well. If you think about it, if you take away remasters, Insomniac's put out more games by themselves than all the other ones put together.
Yeah. I mean, what's a new game from a Sony studio that isn't a remaster that's not Insomniac? Because
I'm even counting sequels. So sequels count in this situation, not remasters.
Yeah,
but sequels.
Because I'm trying to think. I'm coming up blank. I mean, maybe I'm sure there's got to be one, but I don't know.
Sucker Punch has put out 0.
Yeah.
Santa Monica's put out one.
Oh God, yeah, right. God Will
Gorillas
Ragnarok.
Gorillas put out one. No, two. I'll give them two if you want to throw the VR in there.
True, true.
Yeah, they put out two. Um, Naughty Dog's put out none.
Yeah.
Um, any other studios you want to think of? Deviation.
Uh, wait, what studio's Deviation?
I'm could have swore they had something called Deviation Games.
They probably do. Honestly, I have no idea. I mean,
Um,
it's tough to say. I really. I mean, because you said Sucker Punch hasn't done anything. The only studios I see, I'm bad with PlayStation studios. The only studios I know off rip from PlayStation, Naughty Dog, Sucker
Housemark,
Punch.
but Housemark wasn't acquired yet. But I'll count that just to count it.
Sure, yeah, Returnal. Uh, but outside of that, I don't know. I mean, if you want to count stuff like Destruction All Stars, again, it's not a first party studio. But like, if you want to count stuff like that, then sure, maybe. But like, Insomniac again, you put like four different studios together right there to make four games. Insomniac's gonna have three, and 20 by the time 2025 hits, Insomniac's gonna have three by themselves, versus four studios making four total games in 4 years, almost five. I like I don't know what they're doing over there in Insomniac, and the crazy thing is like all the devs are like, oh, there's like absolutely no crunch. It's like, dude, I don't know how the fuck y'all are doing all that with without any form of crunch. But I mean, hey, if you are, then God bless, because that's just impressive. That's just impressive, honestly. But yeah, I'm not too surprised. 2025 for Wolverine. I wasn't expecting 2024. Like, I was expecting them to stick with 2024, and then at the end of 2024 be like, it's actually delayed, but, you know, 2025 makes sense. I mean, they need to take it easy at Insomniac. Give them some rest. Give them a break. Let them have a pizza party or something.
I know, right? Let them go to like fucking vacation or something for just like a week.
They
Jesus.
deserve it. I mean, but yeah. Dude, I'm hyped. I'm hyped regardless for Wolverine. Like, Wolverine, I really, as a superhero, I really don't care about. But the idea of like an over the top violent Wolverine game from Insomniac is pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna be there for it, 100%. Day one.
I'm expecting it to be like pretty raw when it comes to like the acting and like how dark the story is and everything. I'm expecting that, but I'm also anticipating a lot of similarities to Spider-Man. Seeing that I'm assuming that they would want to keep them in the same type of world to be able to have the opportunity to integrate in the future.
Okay. Yeah,
I
I
I
thought
think
they
it'd be
came out.
crazy to go totally different.
Yeah, I thought they came out recently and said something about um, Wolverine and Spider Man being in the same, like being like in the same universe in their, like their version of Spider Man and their version of Wolverine will be all in the same thing.
Right.
From what I
Which would
remember them
make
saying.
sense because in my opinion, just the art direction and everything that they could do with it, and how they have Spider-Man on the screen and how they have things moving in the game,
Yeah,
the availability of speed and stuff like that. I just think that they'd want to do something fairly similar and just put a dark story on top of it.
yeah. I mean, well, I can't wait to see what it is, but 2025 is likely when we will find out. There was a topic, and not so much a news topic, but something I wanted to bring up because I wanted to ask the question. So Gabe Newell did an interview and part of a documentary for Half-Life's 25th anniversary. And Gabe Newell said that realism in games isn't fun. I play games to have fun. And I wanted to ask you, do you agree with that statement?
No, no, I don't.
You don't? Okay, so explain yourself.
No. Because there's just too many different type of games. I'm not going to completely shut down one thing and say it's just not good for gaming.
Okay.
Because maybe it's just not for me, right?
Sure.
But something that's always been championed is realism in games. Something that's always been championed is that. That's always been kind of part of the striving force for gaming, and I'm surprised somebody of that nature said something like that.
Okay.
Because as much as we've looked at Grand Theft Auto, how many times have you or your friends or just people within gaming community say, man, this seems pretty real. I hope the next one looks even better.
Sure, yeah.
We don't mean better as in more cartoony. We mean better as in more real.
More realistic, yeah.
So I just think that's kind of not true.
Okay.
I feel like there's kind of a culture where people feel like they need to stand on a hill and they don't need to budge. And like what they said is the end of the sentence, and it's the end of the conversation. And it's just like, no, it's not. You can have a complete realism, right? And a side scroller game can still be fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
you can have complete realism in a side-scrolling game.
Yeah.
If it's put together properly, the real thing behind it is what kind of choices are you giving the player? What kind of story are you giving the player?
Yeah.
That's really the end of the day and you can make a dope video game with stick figures.
Yes. I agree with what you're saying. I think I agree with him in the sense that realism doesn't make the game. But I don't know.
Right.
But like, because for example, I'm playing like a game I'm playing a lot recently is Severed Steel, where it's like, dude, in that game, it's so not realistic. Like you can run on the side of a wall, you can do a flip and while you're upside down, shoot someone in the head. Like there's all sorts. It's basically like, I think they call it like Gun Fu game or whatever, some like weird name like that. But I can see why they would call it that. But like, I agree with Gabe in that if what he's saying here is this, that realism doesn't make the game good. But I also agree with what you're saying. Like there are games that have a heavy focus and realism that are still very fun, that still offer a pretty great experience. So I don't think it
I think one-to-one realism isn't fun. Like if I have to, if I was in a video game and I had to go to the post office, I would not be having fun.
Oh yeah, like
you know what I'm saying? I had to go grocery shopping in a video game and literally walk around with a car. I'm not having fun doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like if it's realism in the sense of my person's walking on the sidewalk and I just see a building right here or a shop right here and I want to walk in and possibly get a job there or steal from it or whatnot.
Sure.
I wouldn't mind real consequences or positivity to come out of that, because that would kind of make sense in that situation, right? So if I, took some shirts off of the shelf and ran out the store, and then I'm getting chased by cops, and then I start busting at the cops, and stars get more. I mean, that realism is its own set of realism, but it's not one-to-one, because I don't have to worry about my real life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So there's really just levels to all of it, really. And I think putting blanket statements like realism equals no fun is just is just not very helpful.
I get that for sure, and I'd definitely agree with that. Vort says DMV the game. Yeah, right. Fucking terrible
DMV the
experience.
game. Let's go. You just got to sit down and play Vampire Survivors.
Dude, yeah, every time I'm in, dude, DMV the game would literally just be me scrolling Twitter. It'd be a game of me scrolling Twitter.
It'd be
That's
me
all.
playing Vampire Survivors. That's what I did last time I was in the DMV. I'd be playing a game in the game. That's how I'd be doing.
There you go. Just just play whatever. Just a game that you can play whatever game you want. Half-Life, except the experiment goes right. I mean, yeah, I like. Yeah, I kind of agree with Gabe, but at the same time, I don't think what you said. Blanket statements aren't really like it's not as easy as that. It's not as easy as realism doesn't equal fun, because sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. But it depends on the game. But yeah, that was just something I wanted to throw in there because I thought it was an interesting tidbit from the documentary, which I need to watch, by the way. I actually still need to finish Half-Life 1, which I might stream that later, Vort. Vort was in my last stream when I was playing Half-Life for the first time. But yeah, that brings us to the end of our topics. So, I mean, unless there's anything else you want to add before we get out of here.
Nah, man, I gotta get back to the folks.
For sure, man. Well, appreciate you for taking time out while being with the family to be on the show. I gotta get some stuff done as well. So we're gonna get out of here. Let's get into the outros. Ham, let them know where they can find you, bud.
Absolutely. You can find me here every Wednesday. I'm usually on K Mega's channel as well on Fridays and every other Monday for the crossover. He also does that show on Friday called GRG. But more or less, you'll be able to find me all the time on my own channel, which is TSWS Gaming here on YouTube.
Link in the
I'm there
description.
Monday. Yeah, I'm there Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for various shows. So yeah, check me out over there or on Twitter at Hamsolo05. Yep.
All right, sounds good. And as for myself, you can find me here obviously every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern for the Two Player Podcast with Ham. And you can find me on this channel Mondays and Fridays, 11 a.m. Eastern, videos both of those days. And on Twitter, you can find me at Matt Likes Games, and well, that's where you can check me out. Again, I might be streaming a little bit later tonight. We'll see how that goes. I'll have it set up. If I am streaming, it'll be probably like 7:30, 8 o'clock. But we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know if I'm live. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Look for the live stream tonight, and we will see you next week. Thank you for watching.